I want this topic to be light. I don't know if this topic can be light. So I figured, what did I figure? Hey, what's up you guys? A few weeks back I filmed this video where I randomly talk about a topic. It was the most unstructured video ever. I didn't think a lot of it. I didn't expect to have it such a positive and huge feedback and so many views. And then I forgot about it until yesterday. It actually happened again in a big extent. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably haven't seen it. So here's the clip of what happened. So yes, this happened. If you have not seen it closely, let me talk about what's going on here. So I made this video about females who pee themselves while they're training with heavy weights. And I got so many messages and so many comments from other females on their struggles and questions on how I deal with it. So I figured I'm gonna do a more structured video on it and answer some of your most frequently asked questions. Frequently asked questions. There is a medical term for this issue. The medical term for it is stress urinary incontinence. It is an actual thing. It is not just something we made up. It happens to a wide broad of females, not only in the fitness industry, but also in general industry and in general daily life. There is from people that only have it when they lift heavy to females that actually have it every time they sneeze or they have to cough, which is very extreme. I actually do. Fun story is that when I was at my meet a few weeks back also, I went, before my heavy attempt on deadlifts, I went into the washing room, I put in my pad, I came out, and there was a lady competing with me. She was standing out there trying to hide her fist. So I smiled at her in a lovely way and asked if she was gonna put in her pad. And she felt at first so embarrassed, and then she started smiling and she felt so much, you can see in her face how relieved she felt. And just for the fact that I didn't judge her or I understood her, and that made me realize that a lot of females are not aware of other females struggling with this issue. So how could you think possibly that you're the only one that struggles with this? There is tons of females. To be very honest, I read a lot of studies about this and there is no such thing as one general explanation of where it's coming from and why this happens. What I can tell from only logic experience is that when you're lifting very heavy weights for your body mass, you put so much pressure on your lower abdomen by holding tight that at some point, some part of this pressure and holding has to loosen up, and usually the bladder or the urinal canal is just, the hernia is just the first thing to loosen, and that's when the drippage or the peeing happens. If you watch this squat video, rewatch this squat video again, you can see that it happens when I'm very tight, I'm pushing, and the second when all my contraction is loosened up, that's when I start peeing. But in a physiognomical, there is no physiognomical real explanation. For me, mostly when I deadlift. I have rarely ever experienced it when I squat. Until actually yesterday, when I tried to do my 1 rep max with 120 kilos, and I pulled myself. Mostly because I failed. I don't think I would have if I made it. But nonetheless, it usually is when I deadlift. But I have heard of a lot of other females that they have more issues when they squat. So I would say it is very much up to each and their own person. So there is no general answer. Me personally, I don't do anything because I'm just lazy as fuck. If I know I'm gonna do heavy, very heavy attempts, I might bring a pad or at least a change of clothing, which I usually generally always have with me. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that I wore different shorts in the video when I squat than to the selfie later afterwards. That's because I changed my shorts because I peed myself, so I need to change my underwear. So what I do is I always bring a second change of underwear. I always bring a second pair of shorts, which is not that heavy to carry around, let's be honest. And when I know I'm gonna go for a meet or a heavy attempt, I'll wear a pad. That's it. Actually, there is a cure for it, which if you haven't seen, I link Meg Squat's video on this topic right there. She has actually a friend join her in her video, and that friend talks about getting, I think it's physical therapy, where they actually not cured it, but like got a therapy where she strengthened her pelvic muscle, I assume. And she says that this therapy really helped her to gain more strength in her pelvic muscle, and she's never had any incidents ever since. So yes, if you do struggle a lot with it, if it bothers you to the extent where you do want to get help professionally, I recommend you go watch this video and get in contact with maybe Meg Squats or I think she also links her doctor, if you get in touch with her doctor, and see where in your area you can find somebody that can help you in a professional way to deal with it. Other than that, I don't think there is any actual help or therapy you can do. I personally don't want or don't have the energy or don't have the will and strength to do it at this point. It's not that bad as I would need any therapy. If it gets worse at some point, I might even consider doing that, but at this point I'm really fine with how I'm dealing. I mean, I have peed myself when I laugh, I have peed myself when I sneezed. I think basically everyone's done that, that's just a thing. But if you have this on a more regular basis, I assume you want to get under control a little bit more than just by dealing with it, because it must be very annoying. What I found out for myself, which is only logic, is that it happens less when I drink less. It's that easy. So what I would do, for example, for meet day, what I did I just stopped drinking water about 1.5 hours before I started deadlifting, and that very much helped me so much. I did not pee a single drip on my deadlift platform at my meet, and that made me feel very proud. I mean, that was my biggest achievement that day. I don't know why, I don't feel embarrassed for it, but also it is a good feeling if you don't pee yourself, because it's just a little piece of success on this road. So I hope I answered some of your questions. If you have any more questions, leave them down below. Also, if you've struggled with this issue, comment down below, share your experiences, share your tips and your tricks and how you deal with them. You may help some other females out there that struggle and feel a little less confident. I just want to address to all you females out there, keep lifting heavy. It is no thing to be ashamed of. If it happens, tell your friends about it. If you have males around you, tell these humans that this is something that happens to us females. I found that the more I talk about it and the more I tell the males around me, the more accepting they become, because they were not aware. We always assume that men have to know about our issues, but they just don't. Like, we didn't even know, a lot of females don't even know that this happens to other females. So why would men know about our women's problem? So if this happens to you, spread awareness, tell them that it is totally normal, that it's no big deal. Put a towel on it, dry that shit up, put your new panties on and get this stuff going. Keep on working hard, because it is not something to be terrified or mortified of. And if it bothers you to an extent where you do want to get help, seek help with your doctor or with your physical therapist, or go ahead over to Meg Squat's video. I'll link it down below in the box, and see what she has to say and what her friend who seeks therapy has to say about this. That's all I can say to this point. I hope this was a little helpful. I can only tell you how much I appreciate all your positive feedback on this last Rumble video. I hope this helps a little bit more to clarify the issue. Thank you so much. Give this video a thumbs up if you did find it deserves a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel because there will be more stuff like that, but also a lot of fun stuff. And that's it. I love you. I love you to absolute pieces. Good night. I had such a good intro and I forgot what I was gonna say. This always happens. Like, I have really good words and then I have a shade in my face. So I have a really good intro and then I forget about what I was gonna say.